In this video, we'll be seeing Kruskal's algorithm. It is one of the algorithms that builds a minimum span entry out of a graph which is given as input for this algorithm. Using greedy approach. So, on the left hand side, we can see a graph. There is a graph. So, we can observe weights on each edge. That means that the input for this algorithm would be a weighted graph, and also we can observe that there is no edge in this graph has any direction on it. It should be a weighted graph and an undirected graph as well. In this video, we'll be seeing how we can build a minimum span tree out of the input graph using Kruskal's algorithm. So, using a Java code on the right hand side, we can see there is a Java code. We'll start from main function. So, this is nothing but taking the input for this graph. We already know that graph is represented using an adjacency matrix, right? So this is the number of vertices and number of edges, and using the scanner class we can get the input from the user in the console uh, window. Now we have an array of vertices. That means here for consider this graph we have vertices as 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So those will be the number of vertices list, the array. Next we have this loop is nothing but to take the input for this array vertices array, and we have a two-dimensional array that is nothing but the adjacency matrix for this graph, and also we have an array with 3 rows and number of edges as columns, and we'll see why this array and how where we can use this array. And also we have a variable k to uh, I mean uh, we'll see these nested loops, these both nested loops. Here we can see we are getting input for this two-dimensional adjacency matrix. So for example, if I the condition here is if I less than j, that means that if I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0, that indicates that the corresponding entry is a diagonal entry. For a diagonal entry, the value should be 0 because uh, there's no self loops are allowed in the graph for this input, right? So self loops are not allowed, and they cannot be an edge from 0 to 0 or 1 to 1 or 2 to 2. And and also that I should be less than j. That means that if you have an edge between 0 and 5, and the weight on that particular edge will be taken as input using this one, right? This kind of class we are taking the input, and also the entry of 5 and 0 will be the same, right? So this is an undirected graph, so 1 to 2 is also equal to 2 to 1. So that's why in the case the condition here is I is less than j. So based on that one condition we can fill the total two-dimensional array. And also here we have another condition: if the particular entry is not 0, if it is not diagonal, or in that case we'll use this array. That means that this array contains weights in the first row. 0 indicates the row, right? So here 1 indicates the first row, second row, sorry. So here 0 is the first row, right? So first row will be occupying the weights. This two-dimensional array of I and j would be the weight, right? So that one will be stored in the first row, and second row will use it to store the vertices of the array. For example, in the first row if we have 10, so in the second row we'll be having 0 comma 5. So any integer array in Java we cannot store a 0 comma 5 a set of such kind of vertices, right? So we need to reduce that into some integer format, so in order to store it in integer array. So what I have done is 0, we can store this as 0 and 5, we can store this as 2 3, that is 23, we can store this as 1 6, that is 16. So when we when we want to use it again, we can just split the digits, right? If you have 1 6, we can get 1 and 6 as vertices. So that's what I have done here. We are doing I into 10 plus j. That means if you have 2 and 3, then 2 into 10 20 plus 3 23. So in the second row we'll be having the vertices of that particular weight, and this k variable is used to access the indices of this array, ARR array. Okay, now next we need to sort the ARR array. That means here we can see edges and weights are in sorted order, ascending order. So first weight is 10, next weight is 12. So in that way we need to sort all the weights correspond with respect to this edges also. So this is a two-dimensional array, and in the first row we'll be having weights. So we need to do swapping in the first row and also in the second row as well. So in the first row we did swapping, and second row we did swapping using bubble sort logic in time order of n square. So in next we have a print statement just to make the output look clear, and we gave a print statement called mxt and cost. So here is where the output starts to print the minimum span entry. The vertices which are involved in this spanning tree and the cost of that each edge, and will be having the output as the total cost for the for building minimum spanning tree. So so here we are retrieving the vertices which we have stored in that ARR array. So first digit would be divided by 10 and second digit would be modulus 10 obviously. And here we have a print statement called first digit, second digit, and the corresponding weight. So here if we have a graph, so the least weight is 10 for consider this graph, then we would print 0, 5 as the initial output. So this is compulsory, right? So if we want to start printing a tree out of this graph, I mean minimum spanning tree, so we need to start from the least weight. So 10, so 0 and 5 should be printed obviously without using any logic. Then before printing these before considering these edges, we need to make sure that these edge doesn't I mean these edges don't make any loop, don't make any cycle within the tree. I mean because trees do not contain any cycles, right? So that's why. And for that we need to use logic, but for printing 0, 5 we don't need to use any logic. We just can print that as it is. Next we have total sum equals to ARR of 0, 0. So this is nothing but to calculate the total cost of the minimum spanning tree. So that starts from the initial variable set to 0, right? But in this case we are setting the initial variable to ARR of 0 and 0, that is 10. ARR that means the weight of that the first edge that has been included is 10. So we'll start the sum variable from 10 and we'll be adding the weight of the edges that have been included in the output tree. So again we have another array, I mean to avoid loops. So why we need to use this array means just a minute. Okay, to avoid I mean we need to check that the edge which you are going to consider makes any loop, I mean make any cycle in the output tree. So to avoid that I have taken this two-dimensional array. We'll see how we can use this array to avoid loops. And to avoid loops I mean this array, two-dimensional array, consists of 3 columns, and uh, number of rows is nothing but the number of edges. So here we can see there are 9 edges, right? So 9 rows will be there and 3 columns will be there. And the first entry would be the first digit and second digit, I mean 0 and 5. First digit is nothing but we have retrieved from the ARR array, and that is first, and 0 and 5. And after that the first entry will be first digit and second entry will be second digit. I mean the first row, first column would be first digit, and first or second column would be second digit. So in that way we can we are building this two over loops array. And in third column we'll be having conditional I mean values. That means we'll check for some value in that, and we'll decide some operations. So we'll see how that is being done in the below statements. So this is another loop for this is nothing but we are copying the values from ARR of I, ARR, that means this array, to this two our loops, this array. So we are just copying the values from, I mean retrieving the values as from for example we have 23 in ARR array. So in this array we are taking that values as 2, 2, 3 and 1 and 6. In that way we are retrieving the values from that array. And after that we have another for loop. So this is the from here we start to uh, consider, I mean we start to the look for the edges that which can make cycle in the output tree. So this for loop runs for number of edges times, and inside that we have another while loop. So we'll start from here. So for example if we are consider if we are at this edge 1, 2, and if you consider this edge we need to check in the previous records that if 2 is connected with 1, I mean sorry, 2 is connected with 1 again or not. So consider this record as of now. So here there is 2, and now we need to check for 2. So 2 is connected to 3 here. So now if 3 is again connected to 1, so that makes a cycle. So we need to ignore that. But here we can see that in the above records 3 is not connected to any of the edge uh, in the above records. 3 is not connected to 1, no. So in that way we can find if there is a cycle or not. So we can directly print 1 and 2 in the output tree also. So that's the logic I've used here. If the current vertex, I mean if the current vertex is nothing but here you can see in this two while loops array, while loop pointer of 1, that means 1 indicates the column 1, second column, right? So second column would be, for in this case it would be 2. So if 2 is not equals to while loop pointer of -1, that is previous record and 0 on previous record. Here we can see the previous record of 1. So if that is not true, then we'll continue. Uh, Otherwise, if that particular one is equal to the current vertex, then we would consider the corresponding, I mean, the entry beside it, that means 3. So if 3, then we would again search for 3. If 3 is again connected to, I mean, the entry just beside the 3 is again 1. So in that case, we can be sure that that makes a cycle. So if that is true, if the current vertex equals to looped, then we would increment no loop counter by 1, and we would break the loop. So in that case, if no loop is 1, then we will not do this print operation. We will simply ignore that and we will go for the next edge. If that is 0, then we will print the current pair of vertices and the corresponding weight also. So, yes, and we'll print the corresponding weight as total sum equals to ARR of 0 and index of the current pair of vertices. If the current pair of vertices is 1 and 2, and that index would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So we have already seen that ARR contains weights in the first row, and the third column would be nothing but 16. So in that way, we'll be calculating the total weight of the, I mean, total Kosovo minimum spanning tree. Now let us check for, now let us run this code and check for the output. Enter the number of vertices in the graph. So we'll just consider this graph. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 vertices are there. Number of edges. So we can calculate the edges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So there are 9 edges. Vertices row wise. So there are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the vertices of the graph. And here we can see enter the weight on the edge 0 to 1, that is 28. 0 to 2, there is no edge, but there is path. 0 to 3, there is no edge. 0 to 4, there is no edge. 0 to 5, yes, there is an edge, and the weight is 10. 0 to 6, no edge. 1 to 2, 16. 1 to 3, no. 1 to 4, there is no edge, direct edge. 1 to 5, there is no edge. 1 to 6, yes, we have 14. 2 to 3, that is 12. 2 to 4, we have no edge. 2 to 5, no edge. 2 to 6, no. And now 3 to 4 is 22. 3 to 5, we don't have any edge. 3 to 6 is 18. 4 to 5 is 25. 4 to 6 is 24. And 5 to 6, we don't have any edge. Yes, we can see the minimum spanning tree that has been built is 0, 5, 2, 3. Let's verify with this here. Here we can see stages in the crystal algorithm. So first one will be 0 to 5, and the second one would be 2 to 3. Third one would be 1 to 6. In this case also it is same, and fourth one would be 1 to 2. So we have included this edge 1 to 2, that is 16, and next would be 3 to 4. We don't have to include 3 to 6 because it makes cycle in the output tree. So we just have to ignore that, and we have printed 3 to 4, and after that we need to print 4 to 5. So the total cost of this spanning tree would be the sum of all the weights in the output tree, that is nothing but 99. So I hope this output is correct, and thanks for watching.